Hey, welcome back to Cooking with Cranberries. I'm Amelia with Cape Cod Select, and today we are making a cranberry blueberry banana bread. This recipe was originally by Alex of Daisy Beat. That is her Instagram account. So I wanted to share it with you today because it's so delicious, and you're definitely going to be wanting to make it, especially if you have browning bananas like I do. So I'm gonna start off with 2.5 cups of flour. Her original recipe called for spelt flour. I didn't have that, so I'm using regular flour, but if you want to use almond flour or whatever, there's so many flours out there now. You can absolutely substitute whatever flour you'd like. So like I said, 2.5 cups. And you want to put it in like a larger mixing bowl. Like this one. And you're also going to want to preheat your oven before you start to 350 degrees. And prep a loaf pan with either parchment paper or some spray, non-stick spray. So we got our flour in there. We need 1/2 teaspoon of salt. We need 1 teaspoon of baking soda, which this is powder. Let me grab my baking soda. I'm very glad I caught that because that could have messed up my whole recipe. So we want baking soda, 1 teaspoon, half and a whole. Then we want to do 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. So that's half. That's a whole. And we just want to stir that to combined. All right, now you're going to want to switch to your wet ingredients. So I'm going to pull this bowl over here. So we're going to start off with 2 eggs. Come on, eggy. All right, so we got 2 eggs. You want some maple syrup. Here, let's see, how much do I want? I want 1/2 cup plus 2 tablespoons, okay? 1/2 cup. Plus 2 tablespoons. 2. And I'm actually using this sugar-free syrup. You can use any type of syrup you want. That's just what I had in the house. You're next going to want to do 1/2 cup of plain Greek yogurt, which I don't have plain, I have vanilla. So that's why you can kind of substitute what you need to with what you have in your house. I'm not overly picky with what I'm using. What did I say? 1/2 cup. Okay. Which I guess I could have just looked at the side. That's pretty much 1/2 cup. So 1/2 cup Greek yogurt. You can use plain. I am using vanilla. Then we need 1/4 cup of milk. And again, milk of your choice. I'm using almond milk. So whatever milk you have in your house is fine. Next, you need 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I can find my half. In the whole. Next, we need 3 3 very ripe bananas. So I have those here, which are, like I said, very ripe. That's what's great about bananas. If you have them on your counter, you can just whip them up into a banana bread or muffins or what have you when they start to get really brown. Because for some reason you can just like never get to those last couple bananas before they start to turn on you. And this is just such like a classic recipe, banana bread. So it's nice to put a twist on it sometimes, like we are with this cranberry and blueberry mixture. And you can actually find our cranberry blueberry blend in grocery stores. Find a paper towel. As always, I'm making a mess. And this is what our cranberry blueberry looks like. So you can find that in grocery stores nationwide. You'll find it, like I said, the freezer aisle, and you'll find some recipes on the back, the farm and the family, and know that you're supporting a local company and local farm when you are purchasing that. So we're going to mix this together. I'm just using a fork so that I can mash the bananas as I go. And I'm sorry, the last 2 weeks I was off on Fridays, so I was not on to share new recipes with you. But you can always click back to our Instagram TV section and click into Cooking with Cranberries, and you can see all of the videos we've done in the past. You can also see them on our YouTube channel, so we share them there as well. And you can actually use a whisk for this too. Just didn't grab, but I like using the fork so that I can mash the banana as I go. Oh, and it smells really good with that maple syrup in there. But it's nice you're not adding any sugar to this, you know, like pure sugar. So cuts back on that a little bit. All right, now we have this nice smooth consistency. We're going to pour it in with our dry ingredients. Our spatula, all that extra. All right, so now you're going to stir this together until you get a nice batter. It's gonna thicken up nice for you. All right. And we're going to be adding in our cranberries and blueberries. About a little under a cup you want to put right into the batter. And then on top, you're gonna sprinkle a few on top too. You want to save a couple before you bake it. And same thing, we're going to put some chocolate chips in here, but we're also going to add some chocolate chunks on top. Chocolate chunks are just so good. I think they're better than the chips because you get like a nice chunk of chocolatey bite. All right, so our batter's together. We're going to add in the berries. So we got these beautiful cranberry blueberries. Again, this is what the bag looks like at the grocery store. And we're gonna pour almost all of them in there out of that cup. And save a few for, save like that much for the top so you can work it in. I'm just gonna fold that in. And because they're frozen, you wanna keep them frozen. You don't want to thaw them first before you use them. You don't have to do that. And if you let them thaw, they'll actually run color through your batter. So to keep your batter kind of more of that traditional banana bread, you want to keep your fruit frozen. So now we're going to do some, like I said, we're going to do some chocolate chips in the batter. And I don't really measure. Just toss them in. Fold those in. All right, so now our batter is ready. Lighting. And we are going to pour the batter into our prepared baking loaf dish thing, or whatever you want to call it. And I'm just gonna spoon that right in. And like I said in the beginning, our oven is set to 350 degrees. Mine has already chimed to let me know that it's ready. And I have a very large, like deep dish here. You might have one that's a little bit more traditional. So you just want to spread that evenly in there. And we're going to add in some extra fruit here. Just like to pop those in. I use my hands. I'm sure you do in your kitchen as well. Kind of pop them in there a little bit. They bake right in there. And then I'm gonna grab my chocolate chunks that I grabbed at the store. Because like, look at that, like a nice piece of chocolate. It's gonna look really nice on top and it's gonna taste even better. So I'm just filling in where there's kind of no fruit to make a nice even look. Alrighty, I think we are good to go. So you can see here I have my bread. I'm gonna pop this in the oven for, well, looking at our directions, it says between 50 and 70 minutes. So that's gonna depend on your oven, how fast things cook. I would say set your temperature, set your timer for 50 and check it. You don't wanna pull it out too early because you wanna make sure the bread is cooked all the way through. So you wanna have a nice light brown edge. Do the whole toothpick trick. And then if you need to put it in for more time, you can do that. But it's always best to put it for the lowest time and check so that you don't overcook your bread there. So I'm gonna pop this in the oven, and then when it's all done, I'm gonna snap a picture and post it on our feed. So if you wanna see what the final results look like, check back later. About 50 to 70 minutes, I will have a picture posted for you, and you can see what it looks like. All served up and delicious. Serve it with your coffee as a dessert, or you can do it as a breakfast treat for this weekend. But I hope you've enjoyed this cooking with cranberries. And this again is a cranberry blueberry banana bread with chocolate chunks, so it's super, super yummy. Definitely recommend baking this and sharing it with your friends and family. And I will catch you next week for another episode of Cooking with Cranberries.